And now, a man who's hailed as our greatest American hero, Ricky Cobb.
Oh, yeah, and welcome, you sweet bastards. I'm Ricky Cobb, and this is a live episode coming to you directly from YouTube of The Ricky Cobb Show, and we're letting our hair down today a little bit. I know that I do that every day. Tim is quite literally incapable of doing it any day, but you understand what I mean. We're getting loose here today. We're going to be answering a lot of your questions, and they have been curated by P.A. Jarrett and producer Tim, so I don't even know what type of Mike Wallace 60 minutes grilling that I'm about to get. I may be sweating it out here pretty soon, but Tim, here we are. We're doing our thing on YouTube. I think before we get into the conversation, I should encourage everyone to drop a like, leave your comments. You know that we like to engage on X as well as here. And above all, subscribe to The Ricky Cobb Show. That way, every time we drop content, and we are dropping it daily on YouTube, you will be informed and aware. And by God, we don't want you to have any FOMO about this. Tim, isn't that the thing, FOMO? My kids talk about it.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I got to tell you, Greatest American Hero, I remember the theme more than I actually remember the series, Ricky, just with your little intro there, which the YouTube audience doesn't always get it. They don't always get the little clever open, but here you go. Jay Garver 16.
That was a radio hit. A radio hit. I can't remember where that topped out on the charts, but that was a legit song. I can't remember. What was the name of the guy? Look it up, Tim. What was the name of the dude who did that song?
Yeah, I'm trying to play it for you here. I'm trying to play it for you without getting in trouble. Joey Scarborough. Joey Scarbury. Scarborough.
Joe Scarborough. Did he co-write it with Minka Brzezinski?
Are you asking a serious question?
Before he got into politics. Yeah, I mean, look, the Greatest American Hero was unique. So I love it from that standpoint. You got Robert Culp involved. So in any show where you got Robert Culp, he's my all-time favorite Columbo villain. So anytime he's a series regular, you've already got me hooked. And, you got to love the concept. A guy who becomes a superhero and doesn't understand how to control his powers. Yeah, it was a good show. Good theme song, good show.
It was goofy. It definitely had a Disney after school or an after school special feel to it. But yeah, no, the song was a banger.
It was original.
Maybe P.A. Jarrett could jump on there and figure out where it went on billboards. But yeah, no, that's the first thing that pops in my head.
Tim, that was George Costanza's answering machine. Do you remember that?
There we go.
Believe it or not.
A whole nother generation.
Believe it or not, George isn't home. Where could he be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. Yeah.
I wasn't a big Seinfeld guy, I'll be honest with you. But I understand George Costanza and the value. I mean, I like it. Great series, but I wasn't like hook, line, and sinker.
You're playing the role of Ronnie today.
Well,
yeah,
we are going to hear from Ron.
It was my favorite. It was my favorite sitcom of the time. I think it still stands up as one of the greatest that there ever is. Certainly one of the most quotable. So
yeah, theme song got to number 2 in 1981, according to Jared. 1981, 2 in 1981.
Look at that.
Different though, Ricky.
I remember it.
Different though from here's a banger for you. We'll see what Ricky's tweeting here. We'll roll a little animation. It's not quite 81, but it's 1977. Let's see if you know what tweet I'm talking about here. You sent it out about a week ago.
Oh boy, could be anything.
We'll show it to you. Look at that sweet bastard.
That one. Look at that. It looks like there's lots of things that you could have named this one. I called it the 1977 Chevrolet, them hoes better have my money. That could also be the 1977 Chevrolet Kojak Suspect.
Oh, that was too nice. I don't remember the Suspect having the mud flaps. I don't know if we had the mud flaps usually, right?
Yeah, the mud flap. That's baller.
Crazy.
is what that is. When a man pulls up and he's got mud flaps, you know that he is not to be trifled with, Tim.
Dude, you remember you had to put
Alpha move.
you had
right
to put
there.
stuff on that what was not velour, but on that vinyl roof, that little weight in the back, you had to put that leather keeper on it. It's crazy.
Born too late. I'm just telling you, born too late. Cars
Yeah.
were already losing their identity when I was coming up and getting my license. And now today, for the most part, every car you see, they're very boring. But man, back in the 70s, cars had personality.
They had a personality and they had a smell. So when we have the parades here in Connecticut and they break out their old vintage cars, when the 70s mobiles come by, man, you could freaking smell them. You could see them and smell them with the exhaust. Kids are missing out on that. It was a good little
Musk
contact high.
of the 70s. Yeah, well, see, you know how much I like to get high, so score another one for the greatest decade.
Well, hey, you know how
far as
else you
I'm
got high?
concerned,
And
yeah.
again, I didn't produce it this way, but very good. Let's see,
Okay.
let's see tweet two, because people definitely got high doing this.
Oh, I can hear the can. Can't you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Throw up a hand, everybody, if you can remember when Johnny Bench was out there just spray painting the fuck out of everything. He didn't even
So
care if
good.
it belonged to him.
No.
Didn't leave the house without it. Those were white pants when he left the house, Tim. He just gave himself a layer before he went out to play golf. Now he's just going to helpfully take care of a bench, just give him back to the community.
Oh, there's Uke. Love Uke.
And Uke shows up.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Uke was in every commercial there for a while.
Let's see that
in
one
a better
again.
time in America.
It was so revolutionary, right? To get spray paint in a can. Certainly worked well on metal. Before they started locking them up. Did that happen in Louisville where you couldn't or in Horse Cave where you couldn't buy them?
Well,
your parents had to buy them?
Yeah. I don't remember it being locked up back in the day, but I do remember being fascinated with Krylon. I mean, it automatically was the most credible spray paint in my mind simply because of the endorsement of Johnny Bench. And I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure that we had Krylon and, I would go out and I would spray things with it. I don't think I did anything useful ever. I didn't commit vandalism either, but, I wanted to be like Johnny Bench.
Did you try a tag? Did you
I
try a
did.
little unique signature or no?
Yeah. I didn't tag anything. I didn't know what tagging was back in those days. My daughter taught me a lot about it, though. We were driving into the city a while back, and she was pointing out to me just how much graffiti there was. And driving into Chicago, just going in on the interstate, starting to pass buildings, overpasses. Once you start really looking for it, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, being in the New York area, that shit is everywhere, man.
Yeah.
That shit is everywhere. Once you start looking for graffiti, you're gonna see a lot of it. Thanks,
Hayes,
Johnny Bench.
Yeah, Johnny, you
What you
spread
have
it wide.
wrought.
King Hayes one was the guy in Yonkers and in the Bronx who was like, and he would get more daring, hanging over overpasses, exit signs. I think he ended up falling and breaking his hips and stuff. But yeah, bit of an issue. But this is good fun, man. This is good fun. So we're going to surprise you a little more here, Ricky. We'll start with a little pre-prod fan comment number one. You're going to get a fancy new little graphic at the bottom.
I have no idea what's coming. Just to be clear here, this could be anything.
This is in response to Murph, to our Murph clip.
Yeah, Dale Murphy, we didn't get the result that we wanted. Let's see here what Mr. Bones has to say about it. Someday they'll be putting in career 230 hitters and starting pitchers who never even sniffed 200 innings pitched in a season. But Murph, Tommy John, Donnie Baseball, no room at the end for them. Screw the Hall. Yeah, I mean, look, that's the sentiment that I think that a lot of us have. Because when you look at things today, Justin Verlander's got 260 some wins. Scherzer, I don't remember how many Max Scherzer had. He's somewhere north of 200, I believe. And then third on the list of most wins from active starting pitchers, Tim, I think you're down into the 150s.
Yeah.
We used to lament how there weren't going to be any more 300-game winners. It is very, very possible, if not likely, that going forward, 200 game winners are going to be few and far between. And I think that it is going to have to cause us to look back and reflect a little differently on guys like Tommy John. Tommy John had 288 wins, and the most famous surgery in sports bears his name because he was the guinea pig for Dr. Frank Jobe in the reconstructive elbow ligament surgery, UCL surgery. And he came back and won more games after the surgery than he had before. Tommy John should be in, Murphy should be in, and Donnie Baseball would get my vote as well. So I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Bones here.
Yeah, I don't know if the KY6, what that stands for, but hopefully that's nothing pornographic there
that
at the end of
is
his handle.
That's KY Jelly 6 inches and
I don't know.
I don't know.
FB.
I don't know
behind,
what's that. Maybe it's Kentucky. Maybe
I was thinking
that's right. From behind. Well, there we have it. Mr. Bones has the KY.
Hey,
you might want to
but
look
real
over
quick,
your shoulder.
Pitching to contact is also a lost art now, right? Nobody pitches to contact. There's no such thing, right?
Nobody
It's power,
really
power,
pitches
power.
to contact. No.
Yeah.
Everything now is maximum velocity, maximum spin rate, and they don't really want to see guys go through the lineup a third time with, a few exceptions. And so we've got a self-fulfilling prophecy now where you've got a guy like Paul Skeens, and wins don't matter anymore. And wins were always a flawed statistic for pitchers. But when guys were going out there and working 7, 8, 9 innings like Bob Gibson, Fergie Jenkins, Gaylord Perry, wins definitely were more instructive, right? But nowadays, Skeens went 10-10, I think, this year. And he deserved the award. He was the best pitcher in the league.
Who was the guy Cy Young? Was it Skeens who was up for Cy Young where he actually had... No, he didn't have more losses, right? It was Skeens where, you break even.
Yeah,
so
Skeens,
wins is sort of,
Yeah, and the pitcher can't control that. Look, if you have the lowest ERA in the league and your team never scores a run for you, it doesn't mean that you pitched any less well. I've come around on the idea that there's some sort of mysticism, that a guy who goes 20-7 with an ERA of 3 somehow was more valuable than the guy who went 15-13 with a 2.12 ERA. I mean, the ERA is going to generally tell your story, but look, Tommy John, 288 wins. If he had 12 more wins, let's make no mistake about it, he'd be in. 300 has been automatic entry throughout the history of the sport. Now, 288 doesn't look like it's 12 shy. It looks like it's 200 and then 88 more on top of that.
Above.
And 200 is not 200 is going to be a milestone going forward. But everything's about maximum effort. And look, these pitchers are impressive until they inevitably injure themselves because the human arm is not meant to throw overhand. It's not the mechanics of our body. And so guys who can do that for 15 or 20 years or longer, like Nolan Ryan, Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens, guys who can do it without any real significant arm injuries, they're just freaks of nature is all that it is. And it's getting harder now because, if Nolan Ryan had come up, tomorrow, he would be treated very differently. We wouldn't have had 7 no-hitters. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And, they'd be holding him to 150 innings because they would be so afraid that he was going to get injured.
Well, and we'll see.
It's a lot less
it
fun now.
may be delusional. We say maybe the pendulum will swing back and we'll see guys going deeper, but I don't think so. There's too much money invested in them, and this is the way we're going. So real quick before you could read number 2 here while I'm talking. It was confusing for me to see so many Tim mentions, thinking it was me, but it was from Kirchen from our Murph show, which did really well. One of our bigger clips so far. But here you go. William Shank 7940. I don't know. Seems like a legit name.
William Shank, who thankfully isn't lubing up and slipping up on people from behind him. So we're already going in a more family-friendly direction here. I'm sorry that
he offered you a poll. He offered you a poll,
TV
Ricky, a real poll.
MA. He offered me his poll, however. So His hands aren't completely clean either, Tim, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what we got here. Mike Schmidt, the Marathon Bar. God, I miss the Marathon Bar. They still have it overseas. Isn't it called the Curly Whirly?
I believe
Or
you're
something
right. Yes.
like that, Tim, if I'm not
I'll fire it
mistaken.
up.
Shag carpeting, man, there's still Legos and Hot Wheels that are out there buried in shag carpet across America. That's just a graveyard for all kinds of things that you could step on and hurt yourself. Comic books without covers. Now that's interesting. That means like a comic book that just had the cover ripped off of it. So, look, I got, as much as I love Marathon bars, shag carpeting, especially if you have pets, is a fucking nightmare. All the hair and shit that would go into that. Don't even want to think about it. I know how bad it is with my cats, and we've got hardwood floors. I got to ride with Mike Schmidt here. Shank. Mike Schmidt's the greatest third baseman of all time, in my opinion. So I got to ride with number 20.
Michael Jack Schmidt.
Yeah, Michael Jack Schmidt, the home run leader of the decade of the 80s. You can count on him every year.
I love the head down,
38 or 40.
The head down, and he'd give you a pull. You know, it was still done. I thought pretty respectfully. It wasn't drawing attention to him as much as it was. I think he was pumped for his accomplishment. Would you agree? He wasn't showing people up by doing it.
The Schmidt perm, too, underrated 70s perm. He hit 4 homers in a game at Wrigley Field, Tim. Phillies won 23-22.
There you go.
That motherfucker jacked 4 bombs that day, as I recall.
Rain Man Ricky has arrived. Rain Man Ricky is making an appearance on the show. I love it. Definitely. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at one more before we get serious here. Let's take a look at one more here. Let's look at pre-prod lower. So thank you, William Shank. Thank you for the poll. We'll get to our real poll coming up here.
All right. What are we working with here? All right. Peter Engstrom, who seems to be a good PG level questioner. Whilst where's Peter Engstrom from? Is he overseas?
No, Minnesota. I think he's got Minnesota in the text here. Yeah. Whilst.
He must be Nordic. Whilst. That's like an Australian sort of thing, I believe. Maybe, is this Prince Charles's burner account? What do we got here? Yesterday in Minnesota, I was looking forward to your show. Do you do that on your own lawn work in Chicago, Chi-Town? Ron and Tim, like, I don't know what Ron does, but I'm not handy around the house. I'm just going to be very candid about that. Now, look, I've been living in an apartment for 3 years until a month ago. So I don't even own a snowblower currently, Tim. So, no.
Yeah.
I have not
Jared
been
and I were talking
blowing in a number of years.
Yeah, I got rid of my snowblower, actually. We don't get quite as much snow where I'm at now. But Jared and I were talking. I think in Minnesota, you get so much snow, it's kind of like cutting the lawn. They blow snow more than they cut the lawn. So that's sort of why we included it here. They start blowing snow in November. But yeah, man, put me in the yard. I'm at peace. I'll be honest with you. That's my
deep down inside, I don't understand. I don't understand the fascination with landscaping. I always feel like that's the kind of thing that you work hard in life so you don't have to do it.
Yeah, for me, it's more about being outside, getting your hands dirty, sense of accomplishment. No, I'm with you. I'm not like prim and proper and trimming bushes. It's more about sort of bulky stuff, you know.
Well, here we go. I knew something was going to come up. Now we're talking about trimming bushes. Can we get through one question on this show? It's hard going through life as a 54-year-old, 12-year-old, Tim. It's just, it's my blessing and my curse.
It's incredible.
I suppose. Frankly.
It's incredible. Yeah, no, listen, I'm not going to segue to the story we have in the rundown because it does involve some pretty serious subject matter.
Okay. Well, if we must be serious for a moment, I'll try to do that.
Why don't you encourage people to sign up for YouTube, scan the friggin' QR code, and then we can go to our next story.
Scan the QR code. There it is. Look at that. Scan that QR. Get out your fucking phone and scan that QR code right there. It'll take you to the Ricky Cobb Show. You can subscribe, and then you won't miss out on any bushes getting trimmed or anybody breaking out a jar of KY jelly. It's the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube.
It works.
We don't take it that seriously. You shouldn't either. Yeah, it works.
I like the flow code.
60%
the flow code
of the
works.
time,
Yeah.
it works every time, this QR code. So Tim, do we have to get serious here? The biggest story going on now in the world of sports.
Yeah, we should.
I've got to be serious. I got to be serious now for a moment.
That's why I was muted. That's why I muted my microphone.
So you have we have a question. We have a viewer question about this. Do we?
It's
Is
more
that
of
where
a
we're going
comment.
to start?
Yeah, it's more of a comment. Let's
see it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the comment. Again, this is a show by the people for the people. These are my people, so we always want. The more we hear from you guys, the better that we like it. All right. Most Ohio State fans would welcome this level of uncertainty out of Ann Arbor. Hey, listen, I don't think Ronnie T-Shirts is crying any tears.
We could actually go to Ronnie T-Shirts.
Anybody from Ohio State feels sorry about this. I don't. Maybe Mr. AstroTurf, Jim Savoca, has some empathy in his heart just because he's such a good man. But I don't think your rank and file Ohio State fans are probably going to have as much sympathy as the average person might have. And I don't even know if anybody deserves sympathy here other than the alleged victim. Anyway.
Yeah, it's some heavy stuff.
We still
for
are
sure.
unclear as to what's going on. Yeah. There are rumors that are bouncing around. We want to be responsible here, believe it or not. We do have some standards. So we want to be clear in not just repeating stuff that's unsubstantiated. But if you want to start with Ron, let's go to Ron. If we have
I think he'll be
some tape of
surprised.
him.
I think he'll be surprised when there's assault charges and everything else involved. I think he'll be pleasantly surprised. Let's listen to Ron's reaction sent to us from Italy.
So, as you know, I'm in Rome, and when I went to bed last night, I saw that Sharon Moore was going to be let go. And my first reaction was, no! Like, I wanted that guy to be the coach at Michigan because I don't think he's a good coach. The program was going in the wrong direction, and so that just helps Ohio State. And that's obviously what I care about. So I wake up this morning, and oh my gosh, wow, the things that I was reading, the things that were coming out were absolutely insane crazy. So I have two thoughts here, they're conflicting. So there's the Ohio State fan in me that thinks this is hilarious. I'm basking in the pain and the suffering and the embarrassment that the Michigan program is going through right now. But then I also understand that there's human beings involved, specifically Sharon Moore's family, who had absolutely nothing to do with what happened. He made the decision to do the things that he did, if they're true, with the affair. Again, as an Ohio State fan, this is hilarious. Felt like Christmas morning as the Ohio State fan. But as a person, I feel awful for his family. There are reports out there that Michigan knew about this for the past couple weeks, which I have a problem with that because they signed an entire class of kids knowing that their coach was going to be gone, and that's kind of crappy.
All right, well, there you go. Some humanity from Ronnie T, but that's the Ronnie T that I know and love. The Ohio State fan in him is enjoying the shame, I suppose, that the university is dealing with right now. But the human part of Ronnie certainly feels sympathy for the guy's family. And, of course, the alleged victim in this. We still don't really know exactly what's going on. Let's talk about what we do know. Michigan fired Sharon Moore for cause, saying that a university investigation found credible evidence he had an inappropriate relationship with a Michigan staff member, which violates school policy and his contract. The staffer, at least as we went on the air here, still hasn't been named publicly. There's a name floating around. I saw it. You very well may have seen it as well. But Michigan, the university, has not detailed anything about the nature or the length of the relationship. Sharon Moore, just hours after his firing was announced, detained by police and is currently now in the Washtenaw County Jail, at least as far as I am aware, based on the latest I have, suspect in an alleged assault connected to the situation, charges pending on Sharon Moore. Police say the incident wasn't random, and it appears to be, from what we can gather, an incident between Sharon Moore and the staff member in question, Tim. So a lot to process here. Sharon Moore out as Michigan's coach, Sharon Moore in jail, and we are awaiting further word on the nature exactly of the incident that occurred after the firing. Timmy, your thoughts on this one? It's quite a story.
Yeah, sad all around, right? Not just his family, obviously, the alleged victim, a woman, and her happenings as well. I believe there is supposed to be a court proceeding tomorrow, a hearing, where perhaps charges will be announced, but obviously every news organization in the world is aggressively working the story. And I think some more details will come to light. I do think it's safe to say, as Ron alluded to, that it's clear, not just based on what we're hearing. Obviously, Trey Wallace very locked into the story as well, but it appears Michigan had been aware of this for quite some time. So, no official press conference yet, but as the search, people obviously, victim first, worried about the victim. But a lot of people, Ricky, go right to, are they going to play in their bowl game? Obviously they have a temporary coach. And I think Ricky, you have a tip that you've worked on. And I believe you've got something you wanted to share as well regarding this.
I do. I'm nothing if not a journalist in the role that I have here on this program. My sources reporting to me, we can now put it out there exclusively via Super 70 Sports. And let's see if we have it here. And I will comment upon it as it comes up. There it is. Michigan's interim coach, in a stark turn of events that have left many of us shocked and stunned, Ronnie T-shirts will be at the helm for the rest of the season. I can't, he's looking a little bit like the skipper there, Tim.
Incredible. Does look like he has a life vest on. My God. Good stuff, Ricky. Good stuff.
That is Biff Poggi. His body. Ronnie T-shirt's head, I believe. Biff Poggi, the interim coach. I'm going to say it again one more time because it's fun. Biff Poggi. Biff Poggi, my friends. One more time. It's a little addictive. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's say it all together.
One.
Biff Poggi.
Two.
One, two.
Three.
Biff Poggi.
Poggi.
Everybody. There it is. He will be the man. My friends, this live episode of the Ricky Cobb Show is brought to you by PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. This is a season of decisions. You got to decide what's going to be on the table for Christmas dinner. You got to decide what's being stuffed in each person's stocking. You got to decide what gifts you're going to buy. You got to decide, with all of the college and pro football that we have ahead of us, high stakes games, playoff implications. Well, you got to decide which games you're going to watch. And you got to figure out where the hell they are in this day and age. What's streaming where? I don't know, man. It's like I need the Tom Brady wristband to be able to try to figure out what game is on what platform. The good thing about Prize Picks, among the many things I like, is you're not going to be confused when you download the app. Download the app. It's very intuitive. You are going to make yourself at home very, very quickly because it's easy to understand how the app works and how you can start playing immediately. It's also a very flexible experience because you've got the opportunity when you set your lineup to take a flex play or a power play. All right, the flex play, it doesn't pay out quite as much. The payouts are still good. They're not as great, but it gives you the opportunity to miss one and still cash in. Now, if you are going to bet on yourself, you go over and you take a power play perhaps. And the power play, you can't be wrong, but the payouts, oh baby, they're pretty damn good. So you can go either way you want, and I like that about Prize Picks. I've got the flexibility to decide how I want to manage my lineups and what my level of risk is that I want to take. So that is a good development here. Now, look, you can't play without the app. So to incentivize you in this, as though you needed any, here's what you do. You download the app, you use my code Ricky when you sign up, play a $5 lineup, and you're going to get $50 in free lineups. Simple as that. Download the app, sign up, use my code Ricky, and when you do, play a $5 lineup, you are going to get $50 deposited into your account with which you may profit from your correctness, because it's always good to be right, but at Prize Picks, it's even better to be right because being right can get you paid. And here's my picks coming up for this weekend. This is my latest. Patrick Mahomes against the Los Angeles Chargers, the sub 500 Kansas City Chiefs. Can you imagine that? I'm going to say that he's going to throw more than 1.5 touchdown passes. I'm still waiting for somebody to throw half a touchdown pass. All that means is that he's got to throw more than one. I think he's going to. And then Micah Parsons, do I think that he can get a whole sack? I think he can get a whole sack that's credited just to him. Or even if he gets 2 half sacks, I could live with that as well. I'm going to take more on 0.75 sacks. And I'm doing, they both got a hit for me, but I feel good about my picks this weekend at Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And I certainly hope that I'm right. And Tim, some of the questions we've gotten so far haven't felt right. I mean, the questions were good, but everything has just had this little stigma attached to it to this point. Let's see what we got here. Rich J4F. Tim, don't even speculate about what J4F is. He says, wow, I would have never thought Jeff Kent would be the one. What a shocker. Hey, Rich, same here. When we had Tim Kirkjian on the program, we went through the 8 candidates, broke them down. Even with the election being over, we've still got that posted. If you want to go take a look, if you just want to listen to Tim Kirkjian talk baseball for a half an hour, it's time well spent. And Tim, who's, one of the baseball minds that I respect the most, one of the most reasonable, sensible, knowledgeable guys out there, said that he believed that 7 of the 8 guys had a very credible Hall of Fame case. The one that he and I agreed was probably just a little shy, and I say this with great affection and respect for the guy because he's one of my favorite players ever, Fernando Valenzuela. I felt Super Sky Point was a little short. Everybody else, I felt if they got in, I can't really argue with that. So no problem with Jeff Kent. He's the all-time leader in home runs among second basemen. He retired with a .500 slugging percentage, which is damn impressive for a middle infielder. So Jeff Kent, I'm good with it, but I do struggle to understand how 16 guys can go in a room, and women can go in a room and come out 14 out of 16 in favor of Jeff Kent. Carlos Delgado gets 9, and then Murph and Mattingly end up with 6 apiece? How does Jeff Kent get more votes in that room than Murphy and Mattingly combined?
Crazy, right? Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it.
Ricky, I got one more for you from baseball before we move on. It's not going to appear on the screen. I'm in the live chat here.
Okay.
Sabino Ruiz, Y604L. Sabino Ruiz. How about Kurt Flood? He should be in the Hall.
Kurt Flood, there's certainly an argument for Kurt Flood to be in the Hall of Fame just for what he did by challenging the reserve clause, right? He basically gave up his career mid-career in order to ultimately pave the way for free agency and players having the ability to move around. If you want to argue that makes him a Hall of Famer, you can make that argument. With all respect for Kurt Flood, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame personally, but I do have great respect for the guy.
Yeah. Obviously off the field though, seismic changes to the game, Kurt Flood, right?
Yeah, I mean, the significance that he had to the game. If there is an argument to be made that puts him in the Hall of Fame as something different than a player, right?
Right.
He paved the way and sacrificed. It could be argued sacrificed a number of good years that he had left as a player by going through that. So,
yeah.
I think that for the major league players today, as we're listening to all these contracts that are coming out of the winter meetings and all of the signings that are taking place, these multi-million-dollar, the tens of millions, in some cases hundreds of millions of dollar deals, all of those people, whether they know it or not, owe some debt of gratitude to Kurt Flood. So I would never question his historical significance.
Good one, Sabino Ruiz. Appreciate you. Here's a fun one for you, Ricky. Hearing a Prize Picks ad while I'm putting in a parlay is insane. Devin Dawkins, 5492. Don't need to reply there, hey, I hope he downloaded code Ricky.
There you go. Help is available.
Yeah,
and it's code Ricky.
Code Ricky. I think we have
get you $50
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't bang it more than twice. I've tried it. Although I think maybe if you do different, I don't think you can even do different accounts. It's all based on your IP address, I would believe. Let's check out. Are you trying
to tell people how to cheat Prize Picks, Tim?
No, not at all. In fact, I want them to create multiple. Okay. I want them to create multiple accounts. Is what I want them to do.
Yes, that's how you do it.
So we got a good one here, Ricky. This is we're gonna fluff your pillows here a little bit. So Chill Guy Cole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was about 4 people in the chat and then several other comments, basically like, where's the love for Shador? I'm waiting for your video. 4 total TD game for Shador. I'll be waiting on your video. Chill Guy Cole. Hey man. Where are we at on Monday?
That's a fair question to ask, but you got to watch all the shows, Chill Guy Cole.
Yeah,
because I am nothing if not accountable. I look like I wouldn't be, but I actually am. So yeah, let's take a look here. If we have the great Warner Wolf
would say, let's go to the videotape.
It's the first one. I need that one, bro. Come on, man. I need that one. We can switch. Hey,
this was Monday.
Signing it for him. Things are looking up for Shador. It didn't look like anybody was going to be asking for his signature on anything anytime soon. A few short weeks ago, but pretty damn good performance for Shador. 364 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes. And, well, maybe the Browns would have won if they'd left him on the field for the 2-point conversion. At least maybe.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at that. Even going so far as to suggest it was a mistake taking him out on the 2-point play. But, yeah, look, I mean, one thing that I think that I can say about myself and be honest, Tim, is I don't really have an agenda that I'm pushing negatively towards anybody. I come on, I sit down, and I say what I think. I'm paid to give my opinions, among other things. And so I'll give you my opinion. And I try not to be a hot take guy. And I will say with Shador, I thought things were looking pretty grim. Now, again, let's pump the brakes because I still have a lot of questions about Shedur's long-term viability in the league. But absolutely good on him. He has performed better than I expected that he would after what we saw initially. And, you look at those numbers, man. Outplayed Cam Ward in that game. There's no question about it. The numbers don't lie. And he has surpassed Dylan Gabriel on the depth chart, the guy that was taken in the third round in front of him. So look, Shedeur Sanders starts putting up more games like this one. He very quickly starts to look like a bargain in the fifth round. But I think, again, right now, and part of it is just the nature, Tim, of the way that media works these days in the world is, you have a bad game, the sky's falling, you have a great game, let's celebrate. And look, we've got very limited data points right now on Shedeur Sanders, but if you are a Shedeur Sanders booster, you got to feel good about what you saw out of him on Sunday.
Yeah, man. No, listen, I think you're measured, you're poised, you're deliberate, you're not a hot take guy. Look, Shedeur lost, right? Despite what we did there. But I don't know, man. It's like a slap in your face. It really is like a slap in your face. I can't believe there's not
it's
more
like a
Cobb
slap
love.
in my face. Yeah. There's faces being slapped. Cam Newton says that Phillip Rivers signing with the Indianapolis Colts is almost like a slap in my face, bro. That's the full quote, Tim. On 4th and 1, his podcast, he says, it's almost like a slap in my face, bro. And then he goes on to say, he says, why didn't anybody call him? Why didn't he get a call? And he was questioning, why does he have to campaign for a job? He'll answer his phone. He says, why are you asking me to do something that everybody else didn't do? I ain't no sucker. I ain't no lab rat. Come on, bro. He went on to say that he's never
Ricky.
officially retired.
Can you read that tweet again? Read that quote again, please.
Why are you asking me to do something that everybody else didn't do? I ain't no sucker. I ain't no lab rat. Come on, bro. I feel like Peter Sellers at the end of being there as the credits are rolling and his character is recounting something that somebody said to him. For the three of you out there watching that know what I'm talking about, I know you felt that. But he went on to say that he would take a workout if a team called him, and he says that it's about his personality and the attention that he brings to things, saying that teams don't want a Shedeur situation. They don't want a circus. And so, Cam, here's what I would say to you, buddy. You answered your own question.
Right.
Phillip Rivers, first of all, has a relationship with Shane Steichen, who was his quarterback coach for a number of years in Los Angeles and offensive coordinator his last year there, okay? Phillip Rivers and Steichen know each other. So there's a working relationship that those guys already have. So when something comes up and you know somebody and you already have a level of comfort and you can call him up and be like, bro, I know you're 44 and you're giving your grandkid the bottle right now, but how would you feel about flying to Indianapolis and working out for us? Okay, that's an easier phone call for him to make. That's a phone call that makes sense given their relationship. And then secondly, even if he didn't know Phillip Rivers, I think we all know that we can count on the guy who doesn't look like Willy Wonka's nemesis, who doesn't make everything about himself, to show up and try to fit in to the team scheme and make it about the Indianapolis Colts rather than about himself. I think that's why Phillip Rivers got called.
Yeah, looks like he was an extra on a modern sci-fi western. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean, western. Holy smokes!
Yeah, he looks like a villain in the Wild Wild West sequel with Will Smith that they didn't make. This guy, I mean, come on, looks like a frontier pimp, doesn't he? He's prostituting women out for I don't know. What would they have wanted in the 1800s for?
Some
I
whiskey.
was going to say
some tea.
spices, whiskey.
Yeah.
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 Spices
Maybe
would
some
have been
tea.
like that. Would have been like being a 1400s pimp. You
Couple
pimp
of
your
horses.
hose out for spices. Yeah, horses.
Couple of horses, maybe.
I don't know, dude. I don't take him seriously. I don't take anybody serious. And I know I've got my own look too or whatever. And some people might be like, well, you know, you're sitting there with your hair all out and your big beard and like I don't do this for attention though. Okay? I think Cam dresses for attention. Nobody gets in the mirror and then, you know, ties up their funny tie that literally nobody owns with their collar that comes up to their bottom lip and then their gigantic hat like they're playing a character in, like you said, some TV show. Everything is about him. Cam Newton is for Cam Newton. He's the guy that said that he would rather have an MVP than a Super Bowl. You know, maybe if you would have jumped on the fumble, Cam, you would have had a Super Bowl.
Ouch.
You know, so I'm not a Cam Newton fan. I'm really not. This guy just criticizes everybody else while trying to elevate himself. He's like a cartoon character to me. If you want to know why nobody called you, it doesn't have anything to do with your ability level, and it has everything to do with the way that you comport yourself.
Well
So
said.
there, how about that?
Well said. He also looked so bad his last few games, Ricky. He looked so bad. I mean, you know, he had that short
He
burst
was
for like
never
3 or 4
an accurate
years.
guy.
No.
Yeah,
no.
he was never a particularly accurate passer, but he could do things with his legs. You know, he could do things out of the pocket, and he was clearly, you know, I mean, he won the MVP award. He's a great player, but he's about Cam Newton. And I don't think the Indianapolis Colts, who are just trying to like get somebody out there, the Indianapolis Colts, they would have signed Mr. Quarterback. You know, they were just looking, can we get somebody in here who can run this offense at just something anywhere close to an NFL level for a short amount of time? And can you imagine the distraction to actually being able to take on that task that you would get with Cam Newton?
You know, it's
I mean,
interesting because I
ridiculous.
think he's only like 36, by the way. But he took such a pounding. I mean, when he would run, they had it. I mean, Jesus, had so many design runs for him. You think that made it toll, but you're right, man. You don't need that kind of distraction. It's about the name on the front of the jersey and not on the back. And I'm not sure. I think back even to the Super Bowl, as you mentioned, jump on the fumble, but even not being able to answer questions, walking away from the podium, like there was just a petulance there that,
yes.
Yeah. But this is
Why
good
would
shit,
you
man.
want that in your organization? You know,
Yeah.
you can deal with it if somebody's a difference maker, but if they're a guy who hasn't played in the NFL in several years, I really don't think you want to deal with their bullshit. So that was the easiest decision that the Indianapolis Colts ever had to make, and maybe the easiest decision that you'll have to make today, at least, would be to scan on that QR code or just head over to the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube and sign up so that you don't miss anything. We just like to hang out and talk about sports, about pop culture, about our youth, and all the shit that we like to discuss on Super 70s Sports. It's just a conversation for people of a certain knowledge level and perhaps a certain age is what we're doing here. And if Super 70s is your jam, we think you'll like a lot of what we're doing over here. So subscribe, won't you please? And once you do, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of what we're doing. And
18.
you can be a part of the show as well, you know, as we go through all of the comments here today. Sensei Thunderfist, medical doctor. Thank you for your service, Dr. Thunderfist. Says you can bring back the Expos, but one current team has to go. Who do you pick? Oh, boy. Washington Nationals, motherfucker. Because turnabout is fair play. You killed the Expos. Maybe the Expos rise from the dead like Michael Myers and they take their team back from the nation's capital to Montreal. How about that? How do you like them apples?
I don't know if
Washington.
Montreal wants those bitches back.
Yeah, well, they might not. I bet they would take them. They'd
Yeah.
take anything at this point. They're thirsty, Tim. They're thirsty for baseball in Montreal.
You
and
should put it to a vote, man.
I
Put
hate-
it to a vote.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good question. Everybody would just go after their who would you get rid of, Tim? The Red Sox? No, you can't get rid of the Red Sox. You need the Red Sox.
No, and I wouldn't get rid of the A's because of their storied history. I don't know, man. The Marlins seem ready for the picking. Doesn't
Yeah,
really ever
I
seem
mean-
to have clicked down there. Nice ballpark, but
Same for the Rays. Same for the Rays.
with
When
all
I was
that
down
winning
there,
and
you
Joe
know, I-
Madden, yeah.
I was down there back in 2017 helping them out for some stuff, and I was down there for a doubleheader. And, great people that work down there. Shout out to Andy Freed, the radio guy. Good organization in terms of the people that I met, got to know a little bit. But the fans have never supported that team
Even with
in
all
a
the
way
winning.
that is, yeah, even with all the winning. So, it's rough. A new stadium would help. The stadium's not in a good location, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, you want to get rid of the Marlins. If you really just want to say which team is just sucking and deserves to go for just sucking, the Marlins would have a very powerful argument to be the team that you'd get rid of if you were looking for the weakest link.
Yeah. Yeah. Florida gets enough baseball all the other time. But I think it's a good question for the America's poll of the day, brought to you by on X, where the eagle flies high. Higher. I've always wanted to do that. Sorry.
God,
we
that
can't
was
edit
great.
that out.
I just wish that you'd fired it as you said it. It's hard for me to come back, but I'm going to try, because this is the time in the program when we say that it's time for America's Bowl of the Day. And let's go to another Super 70 Sport where the Eagle flies higher than Mr. Bones was when he got out the KY jelly and started getting a little too close behind you. Here we go, folks. It is a good menu that we have today, in my opinion. I think that this one is relatively interesting. I always put something into trying to figure these out. Today, I thought a little bit extra because I knew that we were going to be live with it. I didn't want to have one where something was going to run off and get 50% of the vote today. So here's what we have. We will begin with Hangman. And that is Hangman the game. And I don't know what else. I don't know. There's other hangs. I thought I needed to clarify it, Tim, is what I'm saying. It's not being a hangman is a vocation.
No, you did.
Well,
Because I don't think kids play it anymore.
That used to be a job, Tim. Can you imagine being the hangman? How was your day at work, honey? I don't want to talk about it. All right, so hangman, right? You know how many letters? Every time you guess a letter that's not there, there's a head, there's an arm, whatever. I always loved that back in the day. That was a good killing time at school game back in my era. Second, we've got one of my favorite Beasties songs, Tim. No sleep till.
Sleep till.
Da, 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 da.
Such a great song.
I love No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Like I say, that's a top 5 Beastie Boys song for me at worst.
Yeah.
Third, a man who probably never listened to No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Tim, although it would be amazing if he did. The great Cowboys coach of almost 30 years, Tom Landry. 2-time Super Bowl winner, 4 Super Bowl appearances during his tenure as the Cowboys' first coach. Of course, shit canned by Jared Jones. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys. And lastly, ketchup. Break it down for me, Tim, as only you can.
I think you needed to clarify, Ricky, ketchup, right? Did you mean the vegetable or the condiment, right? Who was the president who said it was a vegetable at one point?
Was that George W. Bush?
It was either
Feels like that
W
was
or
a George W.
It wasn't Clinton. It was definitely someone recently who, through idiocy, talked about ketchup being a vegetable. I believe I'm correct. If not, you folks get in the comments, correct me, but I'm pretty sure. I think you're right. It was W. I was a bit of a W fan, but that's mostly 9/11 influenced. Tom
I could
Landry.
be wrong. I don't want to pin that on W necessarily, but
Yeah, well, I'm going to
yeah,
put P. I'm
Jared,
going to put.
Jared, find out who it was.
Yeah, I believe it was a president
It
who's.
was William Howard Taft who said, "Give me some ketchup for this hot dog, motherfucker, because I'm about
I
to
know.
pound it." All right. Well,
So PA Jared, if you're doing that, that's fine. But I'm curious. Reality check. Do you know what Hangman the game is, and did you ever play it in school, Jared?
Absolutely. Anytime there's a substitute teacher in elementary school, maybe the beginning of middle school, yeah, that was your time waster. Anytime you wanted to not do anything in class, or
Got
the
it.
substitute teacher didn't want to do anything in class, you play Hangman.
Good to know. I'm glad.
that
I'm
makes
wondering
me
if it's
feel
removed.
good.
Yeah.
Hangman and 7-Up. I don't know if you guys have heard did 7-Up, or I don't know what age that is, but it was one of those two usually.
7-Up. Tell me
What
more.
was 7-Up? See, I don't know that one.
It's stupid. It's like a couple people go into the front of the class, everyone else is at their desk with their thumb up, and you go around the class and put their thumb down, and they have to guess who was the one who put their thumb down. It wasn't fun. Hangman was way better.
Good Lord.
You guys
7-Up
seem to have done it way better back then. If Hangman
feels
was
like
a thing, and
was there was the school counselor present for every game of 7-Up to handle
Seriously.
anything that?
Probably lurking in the back. Yeah, probably should have.
Goodness, show us on the doll where someone touched you, Tim.
So was it a he or a she? Ricky, this is a great poll. I will say it's almost doubled in votes. I just did cheat because I would vote for No Sleep Till Brooklyn. That would be my vote. Despite having an indelible image, I can close my eyes right now and see Tom Landry with that stoic look. I mean, you've tweeted a million times about his dress, his attire. Good Lord, I don't know if he was a good coach or not. The Cowboys won. I know he was there for years. I know they had some lean years, but he seemed to be the standard bearer for sure. But I got to go No Sleep Till Brooklyn, man. How about you?
All right, Tim. I'm going to give you two arguments in favor of Tom Landry here. And for me, I'll tell you, ketchup, look, I'm not anti-ketchup. Like once in a while, I don't mind dipping some fries or some tater tots in some ketchup, but
Yeah, it's overrated.
usually ketchup, if it comes on a burger, I ask for it without. Okay, so ketchup is an easy one for me to eliminate. Hangman, I'm going to eliminate, even though I really like it. It's just not something that I do very often these days. So No Sleep Till Brooklyn, I'm jamming to that, man. I'm listening to that on my AirPods, fairly frequently. So it comes down to No Sleep Till Brooklyn and Tom Landry. But I'm going to tell you what put Tom Landry over the top for me. One, the Cowboys were my first favorite NFL team. So Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Tom Landry, that's, great memories for me. But here are two things. One, Tom Landry, Tim, invented the 4-3 defense. How about that?
I don't know if I would have gotten that right. I thought he did something on the offensive side of the ball that he invented with running backs. I didn't realize that about the 4-3.
He was an assistant with the New York Giants, I believe, at the time that he did that. And Tom Landry in 1986 had death threats directed at him. I believe they were playing the Rams. They took him into the locker room, put a bulletproof vest on him under his sweater, his game attire, which, as we all know, was a suit. If you're of a certain age, you know that. He came back out, coached the rest of the game wearing a bulletproof vest.
Good Lord.
So just for the sheer badassery of that, I'm going to ride with the man who guided the Cowboys for their first, I think it was 29, if not 30 years of existence. Tom Landry, lock it in, Regis. Final answer.
Let's see. I'm curious how it comes out here.
I'm interested to see.
Yeah, even
how
before
this
I
one
saw the
shakes out.
results, I didn't see who won. I saw though that Hangman didn't do well. So let's see. Wow. No
No
sleep till
sleep till
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, 42%. That is a bad result for Hangman, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I'll ask my daughter. I'm not sure people are still playing it. I don't know, but a Hangman definitely should do more than 11%. I agree with you. Call it 12.
Yeah, that's pretty rotten. Tom Landry, respectable silver medal today, but we will see no sleep till Brooklyn again tomorrow on Championship Friday. Don't forget, guys, Monday through Thursday, why nots on Super 70s. On Friday, we pick the winner among winners, and then it will move ahead to the why not tournament, which, Tim, we got to be due for this after the holidays.
Yeah. Yep.
We're gonna have to do the second one.
I think it's good. I think
And
it's
I
good
didn't do a-
January.
Yeah, and I didn't do a poll on Tuesday. I think I forgot to do the poll on Tuesday, so there's gonna have to be a wild card entrant. If anybody watching this wants to suggest a wild card to come in and steal this week away from the 3 legitimate winners, leave me an option in the comments and we'll consider it.
Love it. Yeah,
Because
get in
we're
the
going to
YouTube
need-
comments.
We're going to need a wild card.
Go on the community
Yeah.
page or go on Ricky's X feed there and leave a comment. Speaking of people stepping in and, basically helping us out, Ron's picks have been so bad this year in NFL. Ron, in fact,
Thank God.
yeah, there was a user, I don't have his name in front of me, who said, "Hey, my son is in Italy, Ron. If you want to find him, he can help you with your picks." Oh, it was Kaiser. Excuse me, it was Kaiser. So that didn't quite happen, but Ron did get some help while in Italy on his picks. So let's take a little listen here, and on the back end we'll see the graphic. So here you go, Ron's picks, brought to you by.
Am I supposed to know that, Tim?
It's not playing. It's not playing right now. You know why?
Oh,
Ron's been calling
well,
fucking.
This is live.
Ron's been fucking calling collect from Italy. That guy. I don't know what's going on.
I thought for a second I was supposed to know the fucking answer. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know who it's brought to you by.
Yeah, no, I didn't accept that
Super
collect
70s
call.
Sports.
I didn't know you could still make a collect. I didn't know you could still make a collect call, but he's been calling collect here this whole week.
Is that still a thing? I called my mother collect the day after Jesse Ventura was elected governor of Minnesota, and I left my name on the call as Governor Ventura, and she took it because my mom's cool like that.
Nice.
I was a poor college student at the time.
Yeah, I don't think you can still call collect, but we should try it. When Ron's back, I'll try reverse engineering it. So I'm not sure we have the video. Yeah, it's not playing for us. Buongiorno. It must be
Okay.
It must be on that alternate power source there in Italy.
Well, as Bob Uecker, to paraphrase Bob Uecker, we don't know what the hell Ron's video was, but I'm sure it would have been a hell of a video if we'd.
But listen, we weren't going to do. Yeah, we weren't going to do your picks. We were going to tease people to watch tomorrow. So we'll just scrap your picks and Ron's picks. We'll hold everything for tomorrow. But I promise you there's an entertaining video involving someone with a heavy Italian accent making picks for Ron via his phone. So we've got that. But we could throw up some poll replies here before we. Yeah, it'll be good content for tomorrow.
Been cheated.
Tune in tomorrow, America. Which, by the way, we've never really talked about it. The show in its entirety is 3 days a week, right?
Yes,
Monday, Wednesday,
correct.
Thursday, we do segments the rest of the week. So not everyone's adjusted with it, but let's take a look at poll replies before we land the plane here. We know we're running late here. Couple poll replies.
I think we already crashed, Tim. It's a little late to land this motherfucker now, but let's go. to poll
No sleep
replies.
till.
Fred Calerso. Fred says, this is the toughest decision I've had to make all day, and I had 3 clean shirts to choose from this morning. Fred, stop bragging. Damn it. Fred with 33% more clean shirts than I had, or 50% more. Brian says, I can't put No Sleep Till Brooklyn on my hot dogs, so I'm going with ketchup.
Well,
Don't put
that's
ketchup
the
on
problem.
a hot dog, Brian.
Right? No, you can't. 12,
Brian.
12 and under only. 12 and under only. Come on.
Brian is 6 years old. I'm
Yeah.
being told in my ear right now. Brian, it's past your bedtime.
He wants
David
an orange
Hampton
soda
says
with it.
every other Beastie Boys song is he wants an orange soda. Every other Beastie Boys song is fighting for second place. David, I mean, I'm just going to tell you. So What You Want is up there for me.
So what?
No Sleep
so what
Till
you
Brooklyn.
want?
Those are maybe my two favorites. I don't know. I'm going to say it could be those two right up there. What else do we have here? Folks chiming in on America's Poll of the Day. The Great Rex Crumb coming to us from the Bay Area says Tom Landry could have coached the Cowboys, been a CIA operative, or led the biggest accounting firm in Dallas with that gloriously awesome outfit. You're damn right. I've tweeted before. He looks like he could be a, private investigator on some BBC mystery show that my mother watches as well. I like the days when coaches had gravitas
as well. Real gravitas, but the
he did.
Stoic, I'll admit I haven't seen a lot of any of his interviews with him, but he always seemed to have that same demeanor, right?
He would have been great in Apollo 13. They give him the news that everything's fucked up and he just stands there with that same face he had on third down. I'm all in for that. Meg Alladin says Beastie Boys at the Garden, Cold kicking it live. Da-da, da-da. It's a great song. All right, she just talked me back in. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She talked me back into it being my favorite. Look at that.
I haven't seen that one.
Patrick C.
Look at
the guy that shows up there at the end.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Looks
He's already
like my
bald.
Brother. Looks.
Yeah.
Me
Natalie
in another
Dawn
life.
says people not realizing how much they'd miss ketchup if they no longer had it. All right, now look, that's a fair question. Tim, if ketchup just vanished off the face of the earth, what do you think you would miss the most?
Nothing really. Like to your point, fries are good with or without, eggs are good with or without. I guess a burger to some extent. Maybe that's it. Elon Musk the other day saying cheeseburgers are his favorite. He'd eat burgers every day. I need just a dab of ketchup. So I would say, yeah, I'm gonna go burger, but I wouldn't miss it that much that I wouldn't eat it. How about you?
Yeah. About twice a year, like my body just decides that it needs it. So I'll get a large order of fries and just buy some. Do you have a brand, Tim? Are you a Hunt's guy? A Heinz guy?
Heinz.
Do you give a fuck at all?
Heinz all day, every day.
And I'll just, go crazy. Maybe about twice a year I crave dipping some fries in ketchup. Other than that, don't think I would miss it that much, quite frankly. And don't you miss an episode of the Ricky Cobb Show. And it's as easy as just this QR code, wherever it is. Can we get the QR? I'm just so happy I have a QR code. You can go to the Ricky Cobb Show on YouTube or hit that QR code right now and subscribe, and then you won't miss anything. We're doing a show unlike other shows. Just look at me. Do you think I'm doing a show like other people? Of course I'm not. I'm going to walk out of here 2 minutes from now. I'm going to be smoking weed and thinking about the cheeseburger that I'm going to get. Tim, I'm going to get a Sonic Triple Smash burger today with no ketchup.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do.
You've got me interested. You've got me interested in Sonic. I'm definitely going to try the Triple Smash.
Underrated.
Not a ton.
Underrated.
Yeah. So do they come with ketchup or mustard on them? Because that's the secret of McDonald's. They put a little mustard on it at times.
Yeah, this Sonic burger comes with crispy onion chips, bacon, cheese, and creamy mustard. is what they
There you
call
go.
it. And it's on a pretzel bun.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm
Absolutely
interested.
outstanding.
I said it the other day. Do you remember the Wendy's pretzel bun? It was to me, it was a disaster.
Oh. I mean, I don't know what kind of bad pretzel bun. What happened? I mean, I remember
no,
it from years ago, and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, maybe I just had a couple bad, too thin, too sloppy, broke apart. No texture, no form, no salt.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
That's not a good scouting report for a pretzel bun, Tim. I'm just going to tell you. All right, are we done?
Good
Is this
stuff,
it?
man. Yeah, we're done. Land the plane. It's a land the plane day, Ricky.
All right. All right, let's land this motherfucker. I'd like to give my thanks to Ronnie T-Shirts chiming in from overseas on the situation in Michigan. My thanks as well to everybody in Nashville who makes it happen, from Molly to Adam to Tyler to Colin to Dylan. Of course, the great Chuck Hunnell on down the line. Who am I forgetting? Brooke is awesome as well. Anyone that I forgot? Justine is fantastic. Unbelievable work from Justine on this program as well. My thanks to P.A. Jared, as well as producer Tim, who today, of course, was also distributing to me, getting some serious run today while Ronnie T-Shirts is in Italy. But of course, as always, most of all, I thank you sweet bastards, because without you, there is no me, and I love you. You can find us, as always, on Outkick.com, on Fox Nation. Yeah, that's what it is. On YouTube. Have I mentioned YouTube lately? Are you aware that we're on YouTube? We got a QR code and everything. Subscribe to us, The Ricky Cobb Show, on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, as well as X, where I'm pretty easy to find, at Super 70 Sports. Drop by, see what I'm tweeting, and meet me here next time when we tee it high and let it fly. I'm getting verklempt, Tim, with another episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.